Today we're talking about three of our favorite vacation destinations we took as a big family over the years. Dad would lead these trips, and they were actually very budget friendly, so perfect for big families or just families getting started. We'll be sharing with you some family vacation footage. It was taken from a TV series our family was a part of many years ago. Dad, we're going to save our favorite for last. What's our first one we want to talk about?
Well, this one is one of our main favorites, and it happens to be Maine. In fact, I have this cup, and I grabbed this off of a shelf.
That's nice.
It contains 6 of our favorite lighthouses from Maine.
Well, of course, Maine is a very big and very remote state for
Yeah.
a lot of it. What are some of your favorite things about it that we saw on the trips? I know Lighthouse is one of them.
Well, it's really sort of an underappreciated state. Mom and I, with raising the family and everything, we were 20 years into the marriage before we saw our first lighthouse because we're so, taken up with homeschooling, building the business, taking care of all of you. And we went on a trip and saw one in Maine. And since then, we've been able to see about 130 maybe scattered around all of the states. So maybe you can dig up the footage of David when he was little, romping around. He was at the Cape Nettic Lighthouse.
Keep walking. Keep walking. Go, Teddy.
And sometimes the black stuff is real slippery. The green stuff is slippery too. But just be careful. Usually the shiny stuff, like this is real slippery. So we just need to be real careful because it could hurt if you fall on the rocks. They have this gondola that goes back and forth, a pulley. You can kind of send things over or even people over.
Years back, one of the children of the lighthouse keeper used to put him inside the basket and give him a ride back and forth. They got to be where the people in town actually would come out to see it. And then I think his bosses found out and they put an end to that. He wasn't allowed to do that anymore.
Ready? Are you getting grip? There you go. Sure. And watch out, there's a giant hole here.
And I think we put all the alligators in it.
That's not for David to go into. Oh, good job.
That was close.
Good job.
That was so close.
No, David's coming.
Let's go, Sean. Pull him up. I'll hold on to you, David. You pull him up.
Pull. Keep going, David.
Oh, thank you, David.
Keep going, David.
Thank you for saving me.
Nice catch.
No!
Wait. I've seen smarter things. Okay, that's not that deep. I thought it was one of those bottomless ones.
James, you? Do you have a quarter with you?
Now you can see it's an island, can't you guys? Look. Turn around, you can tell it's an island. You know what they told me? They said when the water's real low, at low tide, you can actually walk across. You're not allowed to, but you could.
This probably ranks as my favorite lighthouse of all the Maine lighthouses. The Portland one is more grand, but there's just something real natural and rugged about this one. It's just set on an island. It just seems to be the perfect Maine lighthouse.
So I think that was on one of the Fam Team episodes from a while ago. In fact, we'll post that. If we have that on YouTube, I think we do. We'll post if you guys want to click on the link that I'm putting up right now. So
Yeah, you have to be careful when you go to these places. It's so beautiful that you can forget the danger, sudden rogue waves, so you have to really watch the kids. But it's nothing to fear. We just stay way away from the crashing waves. That you get better pictures that way too.
yeah.
And also we went to Acadia National Park.
Yeah, Acadia is just, I've been so hungry to see Acadia again.
Yeah.
It's been, I bet, about 15 years.
Yeah.
We have all this great footage. We actually filmed some episodes
Yeah.
up in Acadia. And there's so much to see. There was
Yeah.
Cadillac Mountain.
Yeah.
There were the trails. I remember this beautiful
yeah.
fall foliage of us going on bike rides. And
yeah.
I specifically remember Mary Elizabeth and a few others just having the time of their life there. Just going on these bike trails with this big canopy of leaves.
Oh man! And one thing about it is it has pines and beautiful fall foliage if you go in the fall. And because there was a fire there years ago, and because some of it let other trees grow with the pines apparently.
Yeah.
And it has water, shoreline. It has these carriage roads that are beautiful wide roads with stone bridges that you can take bike rides, walks through the woods. It's just really striking, and we'll have to go back. I even thought of going back this next fall on the way to maybe the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, and we have, of course, you viewers are from all over the place. In fact, I'd be curious if you guys want to tell us where you're from in the comments. It'd be interesting to know how close you are to Maine. For us, it's just in the wilderness because it's probably, 1,300 miles away, or
Yeah,
at least 1,000,
Yeah.
since we're in the Midwest here in the St. Louis area.
Yeah, it is, and especially when you go way up north in Maine, and people forget how far north it goes. It juts way into Canada.
Wow. Yeah.
And did you know that it's closer? Maine is closer to Africa than it is to Seattle, Washington. Yeah.
I never would have thought of that.
Just look at a map. It sticks way out to the east.
Oh, that's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
I know there was one morning in particular that Mark and Jude, who have always been very into photography and video, they went out one morning and they photographed and filmed that lighthouse.
Judy and I awoke today at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we're still on Central Time, so it's more like 5 o'clock in the morning for us. We're a bit groggy, but we think it'll be worthwhile. Our plan is to videotape and photograph the sun rising over a famous lighthouse. And right now all I see is kind of the hazy, dark blue clouds and sky above. Nothing too beautiful right now, but I hope it'll be worthwhile. Judy and I got up very early one of the mornings to go out and photograph and film the Bass Harbor Lighthouse on the Maine coast. They say all artists must suffer for their art, and maybe this is part of the suffering, but boy, I'm tired. I've always loved photography, and Jude loves to videotape things, so sometimes we'll go out together to capture a sunrise or a sunset. Out of the whole Atlantic coast, I don't think you can beat Maine. Its shoreline is just unparalleled. I love the rocks, and I love the lighthouses and the whole scenery.
Mark and I had been waiting all morning to catch the sunrise, but it was blocked by a wall of clouds. We were patient though, and after waiting a little longer, the sun finally broke out. What a beautiful morning. I think it was worth getting up early. I know Mark got a bunch of good photos, and I got a lot of good video. Now we're going to head back to the house and head on to our next destination.
We've talked about some of the places in Maine. What about the more remote areas? I know we went up to see the Merrill House and some remote filming locations. What's it like up there for anybody who hasn't seen it?
What's so underpopulated, and you see people who truly live a Maine life. It's that you see wood burning stoves, piles of wood as the winter comes. You see a lot of pine trees, and it's so quiet and so private. But way up north, it's like a different world.
Hey guys, I'm going to turn into the waterfall to the left.
We made it to the waterfall without any close encounters with any moose, but it was still snowing, so Mom bundled everybody up.
Ooh, it's snowing again. It's not cold enough. Okay, I think it's hot.
Do you need another jacket?
Dave might be able to go ahead and layer up.
Yeah.
Half a mile or so.
Lots of stuff. Let's see, can I move this here?
And then gloves. Oh, you got gloves. Good.
Hey, very fashionable.
Mark and Paul thought I looked like cheese. I'm not sure what kind of cheese.
Oh, it's cold out here, guys. Oh, we're going outside. Oh, David, look. We're going underneath the street.
Our car's all gone.
No, the car's going over top of us. Oh, isn't this beautiful? I think we'll see waterfalls. Dana, hold on tight. Are you sure you got them good, honey?
Yeah, you just stay on this part, Dave. There. Look at that white water.
Oh, that's pretty.
Turn downward.
There's some more coming this way.
That's from all that rain and snow we got.
Oh, wow. Isn't that pretty?
The waterfall we visited was actually, it had a lot of different waterfalls, so we kind of went on a trail to see all these different ones.
Hold on very tight and count the wood. If I'm not holding on to the kids myself, I make sure one of the older guys has them and has full responsibility, because it wouldn't take much for one of them to slide under the fences that they have, because they'll have like a guardrail, but the ground's slippery. It wouldn't take that much.
See that?
How would you like to take a shower there? Oh, no. Why not?
It's too big.
It's too big. Hello, Dad. You say hi, Daddy?
Help!
Tell Daddy where the waterfall is.
There's a waterfall right there.
This is one of the prettiest ones I've ever seen. For one, just it's got pine trees around it, but the giant rocks. And just how natural it is all around. It's just beautiful.
She got you on the ground.
I want to keep my handle on because you have gloves on and I don't.
Yeah. I think it helps us to get closer to each other, to go on these hikes. You know, the older guys are helping the little guys are wanting the big guys to pick them up so they can see this or that, or they know they need someone big next to them so they can do these things. We live together, but everyone has their responsibilities, and you can almost not see each other. Here it's like there's nothing else on our mind but each other and God's nature, and it just makes you appreciate that you are a family and that you're getting to spend some time together. It's really precious to me.
And since we homeschool, we could go and see the foliage.
Yeah.
And we would canoe. We'd bring the canoe a lot of times. And we would, it's been to so many states, it's still sitting out there.
Put both your feet front. There. That's where you count me, isn't it? Okay, now you don't get them blessed, okay? No, that's right, kayak. Here.
Like this.
You gotta get back.
The idea we wanted to talk.
Outside a spider. Oh, yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Hurry. Right here.
I destroyed one. They like to swim. Okay.
Hey, David, how we don't look anymore?
We'll let the spiders go on the dock. They can build a house there while we have fun.
Dad and Paulsa wanted to talk while they were on the canoe, so they had this brilliant idea about facing each other.
There's something very wrong.
We're gonna try it.
This is a push me, pull you, or just...
Mom didn't seem to appreciate our revolutionary new idea.
Well, I'm no expert canoe paddler, but I know enough to know you have to go the same direction.
So I guess I should go like this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're supposed to paddle with each other, not against each other.
This is history being made.
Guys,
You're watching somebody figure something out.
I don't know. I bet you anything. Paul comes back, turning around. Yeah, I kind of thought you might. But you can't tell him anything. Male pride. Yes, yes!
We would go on these little ponds, and it was just, Maine is filled with hills and
yeah.
foliage. It's just a great time to go, any season, but I think fall is the best.
So we're already to number 2, and then
Yeah.
soon we'll go to number 1, which I'd say is our favorite by
Yeah.
far that we visited.
Yeah.
So hang on for that. But number 2, PEI,
Yeah.
better known as Prince Edward Island. Can you tell us a little about that?
What's unique about it is the fact that it is very, just like Maine, very remote and quiet and has its own character. Of course, a lot of people became familiar with Prince Edward Island through the simple Anne of Green Gables stories.
Yeah, that's where we found, or at least that's where I found out about it. It was so different because everything was, of course, on an island there.
2007, we went with all of you.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, Mom and I were able to go on our, we went
I forgot about that.
when we were driving through Quebec and New Brunswick, we went back to Prince Edward Island and had, Mom was kind of emotional being there without all of you. And then we went on to beautiful Nova Scotia, which we'd like to take as a family trip.
One unique thing that you guys wouldn't have to deal with, but we had an incident with in our van. We had the bicycles in the back of the van. Do you remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
Where it crashed. You might have a better memory exactly what happened.
Yeah, one of
but-
the handlebars was tilted and it broke.
Yeah, we have some great footage of that. I remember with.
Yeah.
I think it might have had something to do with Philip.
We had all the bikes in the back of the van, and I guess one of the handles, all the bikes were kind of leaning towards one side, and it was pushing against the window. And I guess it was just pushing too hard. It must have just popped, kind of cracked the window.
Isn't it amazing it shattered all this too?
That's kind of a neat pattern, though.
It is kind of pretty. Oh, it's sharp.
It's all shattered in little pieces.
I know, it's in the car and down here.
Yeah.
This glass, it's built to fall out in chunks that aren't sharp. It's not sharp at all.
Do you think it's in danger of just all coming apart? If you,
things will fall out and then we start driving.
yeah, it could.
Well, I just heard a big chattering noise, a big noise, and I didn't know what it was. I looked right there, but then there's a really big crack in the window.
It's a big crack. It's definitely a big crack.
I thought it was a bottle, like right here. Yeah. You know, a bottle right here.
There's a lot.
A glass one.
Well, just in case, what we're going to do is put a cover on everyone here. Okay, so if it does break, the glass isn't cut us, okay?
I mean, we could like cover those with trash bags or something.
Paul might do that too, but we're still going to put the covers over you guys so you don't get hurt, okay? Just in
You
case.
can break through the
It's not very much fun to get cut, okay?
Evidently, my man Philip here put those bikes in. Philip, why did you set them up to break the glass?
Well, it's hard to explain. They just said the pressure must have cracked the window, but it's a good thing that happened while we were here at the gas station.
So it's a good thing that the
Well,
glass
no,
broke.
it's not a good thing that it broke, but if it has to
Philip, we
break-
have it on tape. You just said it's a good thing. If you could do it all over again,
Well, if I could do it all over again, I might do the other window, because obviously that one didn't break.
didn't have 6 bikes
Actually, I
fall
might
on it.
lay them down flat like they're doing now, and that way they won't touch any windows.
Yeah, I think that might be better than breaking the other window.
Yeah, well, it might be.
I think it'll hold.
I don't think
Yeah, Chuck.
this tape job is going to last.
I would guess that this would hold at least for a while, just because how do it know that it's broken at some point? If it has a bunch of tape, it might think it's held together. I mean, sure, it's probably not as strong as it was, but we just had some pretty good door slams here, and it didn't completely fall out. So I think we have a chance of it holding, at least until we get to the auto repair place.
The glass has not totally fallen out, a few pieces, but the tape seems to have worked. It's near 5 o'clock, so we're trying to figure out whether we'll have to ask those folks if they can work on this in the next day or so, or do we come back in a day or so after they order the glass. We definitely need it before we leave Prince Edward Island, though. We want to get that fixed.
Well, we just checked with this auto glass dealer, and looks like they don't have the particular size that we need. They're going to put some plastic over the broken glass just to kind of keep it safe in the meantime.
Right now, the auto repairman is actually taping the glass all together with some kind of a duct tape, I guess. It's almost like a masking or duct tape, so that he'll be able to pull out the whole piece in one piece. It saves a lot of cleanup, he says.
Every trip has a twist or a turn, and I don't know, is this a twist or a turn?
This is a twist.
Okay, what's a turn? I would say a turn would be when it turns for the better.
Yeah, turn is good. I guess a twist is bad, maybe. I don't know.
I'm kind of glad we just recorded all of it, even though it was difficult in the moment,
Yeah,
because it's a great memory now.
I even think I remember the place who fixed it was called Island Glass, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We got a notebook from them. So every time we write a note, by the phone or whatever, it would give.
Yeah.
Help. So good advertising with that notebook.
I just remember it being very peaceful, and
Yeah.
like when we saw the ocean, we could go right down to it, and there'd be kind of a rocky coast in some areas.
And with tall grass growing.
Yeah, really unique, just very natural looking, not at all developed.
We had a house right by the Gulf of St. Lawrence, and the water was a beautiful, kind of almost a blue purple, just like a beautiful with sand dunes and this beautiful tall grass. This was off season, so we
Yeah.
were able to make a deal with the owner, and they were, I guess, just glad to have it occupied. Even while we were there, we rewatched the Anne of Green Gables
Oh yeah, I remember
series
that.
that was done in the 80s, and they did that series on a very tight budget, but it turned into a tremendous hit just
Yeah.
because it was a low budget and it was very simple.
Oh yeah.
A very simple story. Sometimes those are real sleepers. They don't anticipate because it's not cool. It's kind of different from the mainstream of movies.
Yeah, I'm still kind of shocked that I like that
Yeah,
movie so
I
much,
know.
because on paper I think that's the last thing I'd like
It's
just
a little orphan girl.
an orphan girl kind of who's kind of up in the clouds with her thinking, and
Yeah.
she just gets to know the different townsfolk and all that. It just doesn't on paper sound interesting at all, but it
Yeah.
really it's very well done. That's something we'll give a quick shout out to that, but check that out if you haven't.
Yeah, it's multi-hour too.
Yeah.
So it's many hours of, kind of like two parts.
One of the things I remember the most about the PEI trip was going up on the sand dunes.
Yeah.
And somehow we developed a game where you would kind of fake like you're battling each other at the top.
The sand was incredibly soft, and they would make it look real dramatic, like they're taking someone and throwing them off. And the victim would slide down and kind of tumble, and then when they land, the whole idea to them, which they thought this was fun, is to look as broken and dead as you could and lay there for a while, which of course is not my dream come true to see them looking very broken, but to act like, oh man, I really would have much drama.
I would just get really dirty. Like I'd be covered with sand, and sometimes sand would get stuck between my teeth.
The younger guys had a lot of fun. I remember being at the top of one of the hills, battling with the little guys, trying to throw them down the hill. That was easy.
We were wrestling and trying to push each other off. Finally, I pushed John off. Nobody could defeat me from this. I'm the king of the sand.
Haha! So you're the king of sand, are you?
Yes.
Well, I'm going to fight and I'll knock you off.
Peter and I had a final battle to see who really was the king of sand.
Art, no! No, no! 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 Don't push me off! No! Ah!
I'm the king. I'm the king of sand.
You indeed are the king of sand.
Yay!
Yeah.
So that's some of our favorite footage from that. And it didn't cost a penny. We just had a blast.
And that was just a few yards from the Gulf of St. Lawrence, the beautiful shoreline there. It's with that beautiful color that they have up there. Yeah, God made such a great world, and it's just so great that we can travel to all of these places if you can just put gas in your car.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, we made it to the one we're the most excited about, and that's the Finger Lakes area of New York.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us just a quick overview, what it's like, what drew you to it?
Well, a picture is worth many words, and these are the Finger Lakes.
Yeah, there's the north and south, and this has become a favorite place ever since Dad and Mom discovered it in 1999, I think.
Yeah, things were really tight, and of course,
Yeah.
we went from being newlyweds. We went to Williamsburg, Virginia, in 1999 in the spring. So almost exactly 20 years later, almost to the day, we were going to go back to Williamsburg, Virginia for our first trip since becoming man and wife. And we started with, of course, no kids. We had 12 by that time.
Yeah.
And rather than just go alone, we felt we needed to bring Caleb. He was a 6-month-old.
Yeah.
He came with us on what we still called our kind of second honeymoon. But instead of going to Williamsburg, Virginia, we suddenly veered and went up here.
It's been a pretty smooth trip so far, hasn't it, baby? Mommy should be coming out the door soon, okay? But Mommy. Let's see if we see a reaction from him.
That's too cute.
What, just seeing him sit up like that?
Yeah, he just looks so alert. Hi, Caleb.
I had come to love this area simply through the diary of a young schoolgirl who grew up in the Civil War era. And she describes her community. She describes the lake. She lives on Canandaigua Lake. She lived, and she was born in 1842. And we found so many things just like they were in the diary. Her original church, which turned 200 that year and still stands now. The beautiful lake that she loved. The vine-clad hills.
Yeah.
And because they grow grapes up there. And just little mountains. And it's just there are trails, waterfalls.
Oh, yeah.
So it started out with interest in the diary, to see, what of what she wrote is still there.
It almost feels like you stepped into like the Meet Me in St. Louis movie or something, with these big grand houses that look about the same as they did 150 years ago.
Yeah, and then out in the country, it's the opposite, where they have just farms, Mennonite buggies going to little churches and schoolhouses and farms, but it's like the mixture. But Canandaigua and Geneva have some big, magnificent old homes.
Yeah. And until we visited that area, I didn't even know what a Mennonite was. It helps me to kind of get away from it all, just to see that a lot of other people not as reliant on technology.
Yeah.
And I think it helps us to relax more and just enjoy nature and all the waterfalls and the lakes. And
the beautiful places, like I love Canandaigua Lake and Keuka Lake the most.
The house we were staying in has about 120 steps you need to descend in order to get to the shore of Keuka Lake.
Yeah, and I ate too much.
John and I had life jackets already on, and we put our sweatshirts over us, so it made us look about twice the size we really are.
Does it fit between the rails?
This might be fit. Are those rails wider?
I
think they are.
we could just try the straight overhead method.
Sure, let me take this out.
Just
cut
cut
it straight overhead.
That's what we did last
Yeah,
time.
then you don't have to struggle with the rails. It's a little awkward, but I think we can do it.
Sure. We got a picture. This is too good to pass up.
Okay.
Dad never misses an opportunity to take a photo.
You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fine.
He's taking them in some pretty awkward moments.
1, 2, 3, hoist.
It's really not all that heavy, is it?
No.
When you have it like this.
Oh wait, there's a spider up. Just a minute.
Okay.
It's crawling up my shirt.
Just in your face.
Yeah. Hey, can you see? A small, friendly one.
This could be a recipe for disaster.
In this case, we had a canoe over our heads, and suddenly an arm comes out.
Try to take a photo.
I'll say cheese.
Mark, can you move slightly forward?
Yeah.
Okay, are you good?
You are trying to keep it sideways?
No, I thought you were.
No, I thought you were. Okay, we're almost there.
Don't trip over the rope.
I'll have to do this going up too.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Okay.
Watch out for spiders there.
Got it?
Yeah, okay, there are a lot of spiders in here.
Okay. Mark, which one do you want?
Oh, whatever.
Either or.
I couldn't say it was the safest or the smartest way to bring the canoes down there, but we got it down there.
This last autumn, we were able to bring all 5 daughters-in-law, and they had never seen the Finger Lakes. So their husbands and all of you guys and Mom and I were able to just point out, hey, here, you want to walk this trail? You want to see this waterfall? Hey, let's go down by Keuka Lake. It's beautiful. And another thing is that we did all 5 daughters-in-law and their husbands got to go to Niagara Falls, and some had not seen that.
We got to see everybody together at once for a handful of days there. Everybody converged at the same time.
Yeah, overlapped.
Yeah, a lot of us would arrive at different times. It reminded me of that movie, It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World, where you would have like people flying, maybe some would be flying in, others would be driving, others would be coming on a train, and just like a big madcap race to meet.
A lot of ways.
But it was so much fun seeing how eager everybody was to converge and be together. We all got together and had a campfire a few nights where everybody was in a giant circle. We saw Grimes Glen and Watkins Glen, which is more of like a hike up this big, I guess inside of a canyon almost, I guess you'd call it. But it has, greenery and waterfalls in every direction. It's just really beautiful.
And we drove to that Letchworth State Park, which is actually a series of waterfalls. It's called the Grand Canyon of the East. And I would just recommend as soon as you can, just hit the road and take trips with your family. Budget doesn't have to be a factor. You can these days bring your work with you. It's something. Sometimes you're too practical or too committed to go on a trip, but the minute you go, you want to stay out forever. I even go through that now when we leave and pack. I think, there are so many things I want to accomplish here. But I would just say, let go and go with your family.